Hey everybody, I just wanted to make this super random, very quick video to show you how to pull the center console trim from a 2010 S550 facelift, newer body style upgrades into the interior and the exterior. There were no videos whatsoever outlining this procedure, so with enough head scratching and pacing around, we finally figured it out. You don't have to remove any of this. None of this hardware has to come off, and that's all on the underside on both sides. They're identical to one another like a mirror image. You don't have to remove this interior box. It can remain in fact, we think it's built into it. And if you had the same luck that we did, there's an electromagnetic switch that controls this, and it will not shut if power's removed. So it's not broken, don't be alarmed. We did remove the back end here in order to see if there was anything that we may have needed to take off in order to slide these panels off. That was our first theory. But very quickly here, I want to show you what ended up being the solution. This, as you're probably looking at, looks very familiar in your car. That's how it sits. This panel comes back and sits like so. If you're looking at your panel without having done any work whatsoever, you're going to see two rubber dimples, which look like these. These two rubber dimples belong respectively in each of those holes. And then, once you pop those up with a little screwdriver, is what I used, you reveal two T25 screws. Take those out. These must come off. These have to come off. I mean, I had to have the orientation correct on these. I set them aside here until we reassemble. Those very simply just pop out slightly and then push forward. There's little tabs here that you can see go from big to small to lock them into place. Once you've got both sides removed, this panel will seem like it's stuck, but use something similar. These work really well. I picked these up at Harbor Freight. You would wedge your panel tool in here, and you can probably see from the video that it's wanting to come out already. It's going to seem a lot tighter than that at first, considering it's never been removed before. Apply leverage here while pulling up by hand in the center there, and keep that held while you come on this side, do the exact same thing. What's going to happen is the tabs are going to release on both sides simultaneously. Then you're going to be able to remove the entire console, like so. Don't yank up on it, because your cigarette lighter, like 12 volts supply, for you non-US folk, is going to be right there. What we opted to do was simply hold the panel over, fold the panel over rather, and not bother with that very complex looking connector there. We couldn't figure out how to get it off. We don't want to break anything. For our purposes, maybe yours, we didn't have to remove it. This next part is a little tricky. That's the entire reason why we took this entire thing out of the car. If you look right under here, and you may be able to see it, there's an opening there and an opening there. What you're going to do is grab yourself a screwdriver or something similar to this, a little pry tool. I happen to perform cell-phone repair, so I have a bunch of these pry tools laying around. Anything will do. Small flat blade screwdriver has to be small enough to fit in that opening. You can kind of see that there. So what you're doing is wedging your screwdriver or pry tool on the innermost side. All right, and if you look in there, you'll see two tabs. What you're aiming to do is disengage that tab. Pretend, if you will, I have two of these. You leave that one in place with the tab disengaged. Then you simply go to the other side, leaving, very important, leave this side disengaged, and then go to this side, disengage that tab. Literally, the moment we disengaged both tabs and left them there, we honestly, thought it couldn't be that simple. And then without risking getting this back on and not being able to get it off, I'll show you it simply from here with my thumb slid forward. Now, that may not seem like a lot of movement, but let me show you something. Panel comes clearly right off here. Up under here, you'll see some electrical connectors. For our purposes, we may just turn this around to reveal what we're looking for. And if you're doing the same project that we're doing, which the entire reason we're in this mess in the first place is due to a hazard light issue. Hazard lights are currently flashing in the apartment complex. We're trying to see if it's a switch issue. This particular car happened to have some water damage from a sunroof leak and affected quite a few components, including the command center and surrounding electronics. We're going to take these 4 screws off, T25s, see if we can get this open. And as you can see over here, we have our soldering equipment at the ready, prepared for whatever we might have to do. Hopefully it's repairable. Hopefully we don't have to take to replacing it. But our theory is the component here has failed in such a way that it's told the body control module to turn the hazard lights on, and it's remained stuck in there until we can get this functioning to tell it to turn back in the off position. So, yep, just wanted to hop on here, show you real quick for those that were struggling due to lack of video content there, that you can in fact get this off without doing half of the steps that we went through. So our pain is your pleasure, I guess we should say. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos.